can't really think of one particular moment with Grandma. A lot of great summers in the pool in the backyard with all the cousins and good times. If I had to pick one, it was one particular summer. Man, I must have been, I don't even know, 7, 8. And I didn't have a swimsuit. And the only swimsuit, or I want to say it might have been the extra swimsuit for boys that we had, was a Speedo. So I was lucky enough to wear my first Speedo that I can remember, at least, as a young man with some friends. So that, to me, thinking about it now, is pretty hilarious.
Hi, my favorite memory of Grandma's when we were little, we would always go up there and we'd make gingerbread houses. It was always fun, but we would always eat the candy before we even put anything on the house. And she would always make the applesauce jello and yap yap, and it was always a lot of fun to go up there every year. So.
I would have to say my favorite memory of Grandma was when her and my mom came to visit my kindergarten classroom, and we got to play with some Play-Doh. And Grandma chose this little boy who was playing with the brown Play-Doh, and maybe 10 minutes into it, it's time to clean up. And he raised his hand and he says, I'm having a really hard time cleaning this up. And so I walk over there and I was like, oh my God. Grandma had smeared the brown Play-Doh all over the table to where it looked like there was poo. Brown poo smeared all across the table. And when I pointed out to her, her and Mom almost fell out of their chairs laughing because she indeed did make it look like there was poo all over the table. Miss you, Grandma.
And my favorite memory about Grandma is the cat wedding we had at her house. It was Furball and Gracie. Furball was my kitty and Gracie was my mom's aunt's cat. So, they both were married and got divorced. That just made no sense.
Narf.
Top. Grandma, what are you right now?
Turn top.
That one's for you, Grandma. For all the times you stuck your tongue out at me.
Hi, I'm Andrew, and I've got a lot of favorite memories about Grandma, but one of my favorites is during Christmas and Halloween, she'd always have like the Santa that would dance when you push a button and it'd sing, and she had that little pumpkin thing that would also do that, and I would always, every year, I'd go and sit by the fireplace right where we were sitting on the corner, and I'd push it over and over, and everyone would just get so annoyed at me for doing that, because they'd tell me, just stop with the music, stop, it's getting really annoying. So that was always one of my favorite things doing growing up, was annoying everyone with the songs that I really like to have the people dance to. So
my favorite memory of Grandma is probably from my early 20s. I was probably about 22, maybe 23 years old. We suffered a devastating loss. We had a death in the family. Our goldfish, Dorothy, had succumbed to old age. Dorothy was amazing because Dorothy had lived a very long life in goldfish standards. She had probably been alive for at least 5, 6, 7 years. A few of those years spent in Grandma and Grandpa's basement. So when Dorothy passed, we did the obvious thing and we held a funeral. Grandma and Grandpa were invited and participated. Jaden at the time was about 2 or 3 years old, so she was absolutely devastated by this loss, as you can imagine. And so we made Dorothy a casket, a fish casket. We decorated a box, had her name on it, and there is photo documentation of this amazing event. Grandma and Grandpa came over. We made them hold flowers and say their favorite memory. And towards the end, we dug a hole, put the casket in. We each laid our flowers on the grave and shared our favorite Dorothy memory. And it was ridiculous and awesome all at the same time. And the reason that this is probably my favorite memory of Grandma is because she did not even hesitate when I called and said, we're having a funeral for Dorothy and we would like for you and Grandpa to participate. And she immediately was like, oh, yes, I will be there. I will happily be there. Tell me what time. And she showed up and she played along for the sake of her 2-year-old great granddaughter who was devastated by the loss of this stupid fish. I mean, a fish funeral, people. A funeral for a fish. And Grandma was such a good sport. And the reason that this is my favorite memory is because I really think that those are the types of things that Grandma lived for. She loved participating in things that she felt supported us. She had a tremendous heart, and that is probably the single most thing that I will miss the most about her is her ability to just love and love the stupid things and love unconditionally. And so we will definitely miss her. So love you, Grandma.
My favorite memory of Grandma isn't really one specific memory, but about many. Sitting around the dinner table chatting and laughing and spending time together was priceless. It was so fun and interesting to see her open up and share her opinions and her history and her perspectives. Not all dinners were created equal. Some never recovered from all the bones that Grandpa left in the salmon fillets, and some of them never seemed to end. The dinner plates got pushed aside, and the photo albums got spread out, and we dove into the past. Grandma was the sweetest, kindest little bundle of love, and Shawnee boy misses you, Grams. I'm forever thankful for my spot at the dinner table. I love you.